What happens when you fast? Is it just about discipline, purification, or something more profound? Imagine this: you fast, and in doing so, you experience something truly beyond the physical realm. A shocking near-death experience reveals the hidden truths of what happens to your spirit during fasting. This revelation will make you see fasting in an entirely new light. Stay with me as I share what happens in the spirit when you fast, and how it can impact your connection with the divine. It all started with a simple decision: to fast. The individual decided to follow the common practice of abstaining from food, but what unfolded next was far beyond anything they expected. As they started on their fast, they didn't just experience hunger, something deeper began to take place. The physical discomfort that came with fasting soon gave way to a spiritual shift. They felt a subtle, yet powerful, change in their energy. As they resisted the urge to eat, something within them began to awaken. It wasn't just about denying the body food, it was about denying the distractions that kept them from fully connecting with their higher self. Little did they know, this decision would lead them into a profound spiritual experience that would leave them forever changed. Soon after, something remarkable happened. The individual found themselves out of their body, hovering in an ethereal realm. The world around them faded away, and they felt a sense of peace and detachment from the physical world. They realized they were no longer bound by earthly desires or cravings. As the fast continued, they began to sense that their spirit was becoming more attuned to something greater than themselves. It wasn't just about what they were abstaining from, it was about what they were opening themselves up to. As the days passed, the individual entered a state of deep spiritual clarity. They found that fasting wasn't just a matter of physical restraint, it was a spiritual practice that elevated their consciousness. The experience was unlike anything they had ever felt before. With each day that passed, they felt less connected to their physical body and more attuned to a higher frequency. It was as though their spirit was being purified, cleansed of all the distractions and attachments that had once held them captive. They could feel the presence of divine energy flowing through them, as if the fast had unlocked a portal to a deeper spiritual realm. In this heightened state of awareness, the individual was shown what truly happens in the spirit when you fast. They saw how fasting is not just a way to detoxify the body, it is a spiritual act of surrender. As they let go of their physical needs and desires, they created space for the divine to enter. It was as if the very act of fasting had stripped away the noise of the world, allowing them to hear the whispers of the divine more clearly. They felt a connection to something eternal, a sense of peace that transcended the limitations of the physical world. The fast wasn't just a practice, it was a gateway to spiritual enlightenment. As the fast continued, the individual experienced a powerful inner struggle. They realized that fasting was not just about physical hunger, it was about the deeper battle between the flesh and the spirit. The body screamed for food, for nourishment, but the spirit yearned for a connection to the divine. The temptation to break the fast was strong, but each time they resisted, they felt their spirit grow stronger. It became clear that fasting was about overcoming the desires of the flesh and aligning the body with the will of the spirit. In this battle, the individual was shown the duality of human existence. The flesh, represented by the body's cravings, sought to pull them back into the material world. But the spirit, ever faithful and pure, called them higher. It was a fight of wills, one rooted in the physical, the other in the spiritual. As the individual resisted the temptations of the flesh, they felt a growing sense of power in their spirit. They realized that fasting was a tool for overcoming the limitations of the body, allowing the spirit to soar freely. The deeper the fast went, the clearer this truth became: fasting wasn't just a physical practice, it was a battle for spiritual freedom. During the fasting period, the individual was granted the rare opportunity to experience the divine presence in a tangible way. In this state, they could feel God's love and energy flowing through them, enveloping them in warmth and peace. It was a profound experience, one that couldn't be fully captured by words. The individual felt as though they were surrounded by a divine light, and in this light, they were shown visions of their life. These visions revealed the hidden truths of their existence, things they had never before considered. It was as though fasting had opened their spiritual eyes, allowing them to see life from a higher perspective. In the presence of the divine, the individual understood that fasting had not only purified their body but had also cleared their spiritual vision. They were now able to see with clarity the deeper truths of their soul. They understood that fasting was not just about denying food, it was about creating space for the divine to enter. It was about allowing the spiritual realm to interact with their being, bringing light to the dark corners of their heart. The fast was no longer just a physical discipline, it was a life-changing experience that allowed them to see the world through the eyes of the spirit. As the individual journeyed deeper into the fast, they began to experience profound healing on both a physical and spiritual level. They could feel old wounds, both emotional and physical, being healed in real time. It was as though fasting had unlocked the body's natural healing abilities. But the healing didn't stop there. The individual was shown how fasting allowed the spirit to heal as well. The soul, which had long been burdened by unresolved pain, felt lighter, more at peace. It was as though every layer of negativity, every wound that had been carried for years, was being washed away. This healing was not just physical, it was a spiritual cleansing. The individual realized that fasting had the power to heal not just the body but also the soul. The more they surrendered to the process, the more they experienced a deep sense of renewal. They understood that fasting was not just a way to reset the body, it was a way to reset the soul. Through fasting, they were given the opportunity to release the past, let go of old habits and attachments, and begin anew. This was a healing process that went far beyond what the physical world could offer. As the fast continued, the individual was granted further insight into the spiritual significance of fasting. They were shown how fasting is often linked to enlightenment. It's a practice that has been used by spiritual seekers for centuries to gain clarity and insight. In their experience, the individual was shown that fasting strips away the distractions of the material world, allowing the spirit to become more attuned to the divine. This heightened awareness opened the door to a deeper understanding of life and the universe. Fasting, they realized, was not just about depriving the body, it was about creating space for the spirit to awaken. In this state of heightened awareness, the individual was able to access profound wisdom that had previously been hidden from them. They were shown that true enlightenment doesn't come from external sources, it comes from within. Through fasting, they were able to tap into the divine wisdom that resides in every soul. The more they fasted, the clearer their understanding of life's true purpose became. The individual's vision deepened as they were shown the greater purpose of fasting. It wasn't just about personal growth, it was about spiritual service. Fasting was a way to align oneself with the divine will and to be of service to others. The individual saw how fasting allowed them to release selfish desires and become more attuned to the needs of the world. In the fasted state, they were able to experience a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others. They were shown that fasting wasn't just a personal practice, it was a way to contribute to the collective energy of humanity. Through fasting, individuals could align themselves with a higher purpose, offering their energy and prayers for the healing of others. The individual realized that fasting was a sacred act of service, one that could bring about real change in the world. It wasn't just about self-discipline, it was about connecting to the divine and offering that connection to the world. As the individual continued their fast, they encountered temptations, both physical and spiritual, that challenged their commitment. They were shown how fasting tests the strength of the spirit, pushing individuals to face their deepest fears and desires. These temptations weren't just about food, they were about old habits and attachments that had been buried deep within the psyche. The individual realized that fasting exposed the hidden parts of themselves that they had long ignored. But each time they overcame these temptations, they felt their spirit grow stronger. The individual also learned that fasting helped them break free from unhealthy attachments. It wasn't just about saying no to food, it was about saying no to everything that kept them from fully accepting their spiritual path. The more they resisted temptation, the clearer their path became. It was a lesson in self-mastery and spiritual resilience. Fasting also brought up fears, the fear of letting go, the fear of surrendering fully to the process. The individual was shown how fear often held people back from accepting the full potential of fasting. But as they faced their fears, they learned that letting go wasn't something to be afraid of. Instead, it was a necessary part of spiritual growth. The individual realized that fasting was a process of releasing control, attachments, and fear. By surrendering fully to the process, they allowed their spirit to expand and grow. They understood that the fear of letting go was rooted in the ego. But fasting helped them transcend the ego, allowing them to accept the unknown and trust in the divine plan. In this surrender, they found true freedom. As the fast came to an end, the individual was left with a lasting sense of peace and spiritual clarity. They saw how fasting had not only purified their body but had also strengthened their connection to the divine. The experience had left an indelible mark on their spirit, one that would last a lifetime. They understood that fasting wasn't just a temporary practice, it was a lifelong journey of spiritual growth. The individual now viewed fasting as a tool for continual spiritual evolution. It wasn't about reaching a specific goal or outcome, it was about the ongoing process of purification and connection to the divine. They knew that fasting would continue to play a role in their spiritual path, helping them stay aligned with their true purpose. This experience had changed them forever, opening their eyes to the deeper spiritual truths of life. If this revelation about fasting and its impact on the spirit resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on how you approach fasting in your own life. It's more than just a physical discipline, it's a life-changing experience that can unlock deeper spiritual awareness. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching, and may your journey towards spiritual clarity and connection continue to unfold.